In another video, I mentioned how Jordan was trapped in a Chechnyan prison one time and didn't have his power ring on him. A lot of people ask, well, why didn't he just call his ring to him? Can he do that? Yes, they can. So let's talk about the functionality of a Green Lantern power ring. The user of a Green Lantern power ring can call the ring to them and their location. However, the distance sometimes varies upon story to story. The reason how Jordan couldn't call his ring to him at the time when he was captured in that prison in another country was because the ring had a low charge. Obviously, it makes for a better story where he can't have his ring and has to get out without the use of his power. And I'm assuming he didn't leave his ring in America. He was stationed overseas for this mission where he had to go after these Chechnyan terrorists. So I assume where he was stationed, he had his ring there, so it was close within the vicinity. At least in the same country, so to speak, because the distance that a ring can travel to the user also varies as well. It really just depends on the situation and the writer at the time. Because a thing with the Green Lanterns before was their ring couldn't just easily be taken off just like that. I'm not even sure if it was removable even when they were unconscious. However, in more recent years, that has been way more lenient. In the New 52 era, we saw how Jordan finding out that Batman was just a guy in a costume, and he's like, wait, you're just out here just doing this raw? That's crazy work. And then we saw Batman slip off Hal Jordan's ring, asking, what does this do? Figuring that the ring works upon concentration, and he was able to take it from Hal because he wasn't concentrating. And then we see Hal like, oh, what the fuck? And take the ring back. I could be wrong, but I believe that was never a thing before that could be easily done to a Green Lantern. But it's Batman, so let's give him another feat. But here we can see how Jordan called his ring back to him. We saw another situation of this where Green Lantern Lyra Omoto was pinned down by her father, a disgraced Green Lantern. He was known as the Golden Dragon, and here he planned to take her power ring and use the power for himself. After pinning her to a wall with a spear through her shoulder, he was able to take off her ring. He has it on, and he has his Golden Dragon armor on, but Lyra was still able to control her ring. We see her use their powers in order to get into the crevices of his armor and break it off of him. And then after giving her daddy the beatdown of a lifetime, the most embarrassing whipping I've ever seen in animated series to this day, once he's defeated, we see her able to call her ring back to her. And this is us seeing the user call the ring to them over a short distance. But things get a little iffy when we consider when Hal Jordan went crazy back in '93 during, what was it, Emerald Twilight? Hal was beating down his old Corpsman buddies to take their power rings, which really doesn't do much, because, I mean, that's another video, I guess. But it looked cool as fuck with him rocking all of them. However, when Kilowog confronts him about leaving his fellow, Corpsman out there to die in space, Hal Jordan says he left them with enough life support to stay alive. How is that possible when you took their rings? The only explanation being that their ring was still being used by him, Hal Jordan, while protecting them, perhaps, is a huge plot hole. But anyhow, yes, a Green Lantern can call the ring back to them telepathically. However, the distance has varied, and I'm not sure of what the farthest distance a Green Lantern has called the ring back to them is. So what we do know is a ring can be called back, but it has to have enough charge. And I'm going to guess that it can be, maybe they could be from another planet, maybe not, I'm not sure, because there was a Green Lantern that was able to change the orbit of his planet with just a single thought. And to me, that means he has such mastery over his Green Lantern power ring that calling it back from a different sector in space might not even be an issue for him. The only problem being just the charge and if it can make it back to that Green Lantern user. Wait, I just realized when John Stewart sacrificed himself and killed himself, he was split into two people. People forgot about that, and his ring went from Oa to the dark sector, but he didn't call his ring back. The ring went and sought him out, but also the ring had the conscience of his mom. Regardless, that doesn't matter. She still sought him out, and the chart, you see where it gets complicated. So maybe that one doesn't count, but I mean, if you can find any example of a Green Lantern calling the ring over a great distance, like maybe from even another country or a different planet or something like that, put it in the comment, man. Hey, I love this shit. This is the shit I live for.